When you look at what the heart uses for energy, what does the heart use for energy? What fuel does it use? This is a recent study that basically shows the heart uses fat for fuel. And the pie chart here, the gray and the yellow really comes together like this. FFA means free fatty acids. On the normal heart on the left, the 85.9% of the heart energy was derived from free fatty acids, from fat. So the heart muscle uses fat for fuel, 86%. You can see at the very bottom, so ketones, 6.4%, amino acids or proteins, 4.6%, lactate, 2.8%. Other is less than 1%. Other includes sugar. And it doesn't even show up on this pie chart in the normal heart. Now, in the heart and heart failure, there's a little more use of ketones, a little more use of lactate and amino acids, but there still is the majority of the energy used by the heart muscle is fat, the free fatty acids. This makes sense because fat carries the most energy in the molecule, most energy per gram. Now, this is not common knowledge among cardiologists. In fact, in the 2020, the people who did this paper writes here, the heart primarily consumed fatty acids, and I underlined it, unexpectedly little glucose. The heart has always used fatty acids. It's just showing that the cardiology world and these researchers just were not paying attention to the physiology anymore. And I think a lot of this was a problem with the idea that the epidemiologists said eating fat was bad for you, or the physiologists have known for a long time that heart muscle actually uses fat and prefers fat energy over glucose. So I'd just like to briefly show that there was an old paradigm view, even for heart failure research. There's an old paradigm view in terms of the blood cholesterol. There's an old paradigm view in terms of eating fat. And it was thought that the heart needed more glucose, more sugar. In fact, studies were done to infuse, meaning giving intravenously, glucose and insulin during myocardial infarctions. During heart attacks, the doctors did studies to push glucose into the cells with insulin. And the studies were negative. The infusion of glucose and insulin during heart failure did not lead to improved outcomes. So that was just kind of thrown out the window. And now that it's pretty widely known that the heart uses more ketones when it's failing than when it's non-failing, there's this reluctance to say, well, it's because ketones are good for the heart, right? If you knew sugar was good, ketones and fat are bad, you would reluctantly show that ketones are increased, and then you would say something like this: whether this change is adaptive or maladaptive is not known. No, fatty acids and ketones are good for the heart. It's pretty clear. It's just not being accepted by people in the old paradigm, because that would basically mean that you're changing the ways, and the research that you've done was basically off base. The last bullet here, which is really fascinating. Remember, we've come through a time when doctors think medications are the only way to deal with things. There's a new medication class called an SGLT2 inhibitor that certainly reduces heart failure readmission rates. It's being used widely by cardiologists today. But there's an unintended consequence in some people that they get ketoacidosis and can be actually have life-threatening hospitalizations as a result of it. But the current thinking is the possible mechanism is ketosis, and written by a researcher who knows nothing about the nutritional ketosis paradigm. This is the Hattori paper. Basically is saying that maybe these drugs work because they give ketones, and ketones are good for the heart. So there's a pharmacological ketosis happening today from these sorts of medications. What I use and what I talk about is nutritional ketosis, meaning just changing the food, you can get ketones and have the benefits of ketones around.
annotated and summarized, easy to share with loved ones. The description below the title for this video has these summary points.
From the website doctorstotrust.com, you can view the summary notes and share or print the PDF of those notes.